Well, in this video, it's probably one of the most thing that a lot of operators always think how to do it, or do they actually have to do it? When you get a direct booking, how do you qualify a guest and making sure they're obviously then to protect your property, they're genuinely there to stay and not ruin your place, not damage your place or your landlord's place. And look, in this video, I'm going to show you how to qualify your guests to make sure, even if they want to pay, sometimes you feel that doubt and you want to make sure that you've qualified properly. So look, if you're new to this channel, my name is Piers. We've worked with over 1,700 properties all over the world. We help clients through Airbnb.com, and that is where we get to see all of this in detail. We've worked with clients pretty much having some strong system, and one of the things later on this video I'm going to share you is the software that I've seen many of my clients using, which allowed them to actually systemize the process. Very guaranteed, or 95% guaranteed in a process, rather than worrying about how do you go about actually physically asking for IDs and all that kind of stuff. So let me cover that for now, and I hope you enjoy this video, and welcome to another Airbnb video. Well, now look, it depends on where your property is or where the location is. If you are US based, you're probably looking at more for service accommodation, like vacation rental type of guest. If you're some of my clients in the UK or people who have invested in the UK, we're pretty much more into a short-term rental with, you know, clients booking you over a month or even for several months. So it all depends on the types of guests. So the first thing you need to understand here is who is your type of guest and how often, depending on the strategy you're going for, you're going to ask clients for IDs. So for example, I've got a client down in Newquay. They've got constant churns of clients coming in for 3-4 nights. As a result of that, they need to verify their clients all the time. They're going to take over 10-15 IDs a month and also verify all the guests. Whereas I've got a client in Liverpool who's got, you know, their property fully booked for 6 months. So how do you go about understanding it, and what system do you need in your business to be obviously to make it hands-free for you as much as possible? So let's go understand about a lot more about your clientele, the types of guests you're going to firstly serve. Now look, 3 things here. I just want to talk about creating system, because at the end of the day, look, many operators I've worked with, they're very much into creating a business, but your business is only as flow and is only right when you create a really good system in place. So 3 things I want to talk about when you're qualifying your guest as a part of direct booking is, firstly, making sure you take ID regardless, right? Now, I'm going to go with monthly booking, for example, because that's so important. You need to make sure you make sure that you take an ID from your guests. Very much like I've seen with many of my clients, especially people who've started, they never used to take ID, and I'm the first person to say, even if they take a selfie with their ID and send it to you, that's still a verification process. So let's make sure ID is taken. Secondly, if you have a reservation form. Now, if you're new to the industry, you haven't invested, or you've got one property and you're trying to grow, very much important that you create a manual reservation form. Now, again, if you don't want to invest on the system that I'm going to talk about later, you have to manually create it. Look, it could be very simple as their name, address, and all blah, 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 a tick box, but it is, again, very much important for that reason, because then your guest will feel a lot more detailed in terms of what they're doing, and also the commitment they're putting into the sign off. And the last one I normally say is your terms and condition. I am massive fan of terms and condition, because again, looking at clients that I've worked with or clients I'm currently working with who are very new to the industry, they do not have terms and condition in place, which as a result of that, they've missed the whole legal safety of what the direct booking can be. You know, if you're trying to qualify a guest, you need to send them the terms and condition, because if there's something that's not right, and the guest is not in the right, they will say, oh no, I don't want to sign it, or they might never agree to terms and conditions. So very much important that you send that across. Now there at the moment, we're talking in a manual way. So you have a template and you then send it to the guest. Now, very interestingly, I do want to share this, and it's over the years I've learned, because look, at the end of the day, again, because being a business, you need to understand how different things are. So deposit. So taking deposit from a short-term rental guest or a service accommodation guest, right? So, or vacation rental guest. So if somebody's coming there for 3 nights stay, 4 nights stay, you ask them for a £250 deposit, more chances are they might be paying, depending on, you know, you're saying it's refundable like a hotel would. But if somebody's trying to stay with you for a month, how do you go about, again, qualifying that? If you feel a bit doubtful, you can always say, look, you've got to pay £500 deposit, and then that can be refundable at the end of the checkout. Or you can always say if they ever extend it, they can then use that same money to a part of their extension. So it always gives you a flexibility around how the guests will react to things. Not that you have to charge them, but just to see how they communicate with you when you put those in their table, really, just to give you a bit of feeling. Now, the second thing while you're qualifying a direct booking guest is making sure you log everything. Now, one of the things I always feel is when clients work with me, they get so excited when they get their first lead, right? The first direct booking leads through Google or many of the platforms that we work with. But what I don't find them doing is that process of communication, because sometimes you've got that lead, great, you get a phone call, you take the payment and everything, but you actually haven't got a physical confirmation. So the first thing I would do when somebody calls you, you need to make sure you take all that information and tell them, hey, I've just logged this in, I'm going to send you an email. Can I please get your email, your phone number? Send them the email with all the confirmation of what you've had on the chat on the phone, and get them to confirm it, because once they do, you've agreed something physically, right? So tomorrow, if they ever come back to you and say, oh no, we didn't agree that, you've got something that's more confirmed, it's written on email. That's very much important for me. The second one is, once they confirm it, then you have got a log. Now, it doesn't matter, look, if we're looking at that direct booking strategy, you are going to get more and more leads come to you. You are going to get more conversion, but you also need to protect your business. And that is why logging that confirmation is so much important. Now, look, this video is only going to get more interesting, because if you're not aware of this software, I'm going to show you on my screen now, and you should be able to see. So this company is called Superhog. I've had many clients actually using them as a part of their system, because as you're growing, you need more system to be able to make you hands-free and go and do other things. So if you can see on the screen, what Superhog pretty much does is it gets the detailed confirmation of the guest. Look at the date of birth, home address, email address, their phone number, everything to confirm it. Then they do an ID verification, right? So they then can start looking at fonts, layout, hologram, ID portrait. Literally, it's so much detail when somebody uploads their ID, be it their driving license or passport. And then at the end, they then physically make them take, through the actual link, they basically take a selfie. Again, what a great way to confirm everything and protect your business. This is probably the best app I've seen out there in the market. Obviously, it comes with a fee, and please do have a look at their demo, but I reckon that once you're getting into scale, or if you're really constantly going through some problems on ID verification, this is what I would recommend you. But guys, look, I hope you enjoyed this free kind of training, free video on how to qualify your guest, especially when they're booking you directly. I would love to hear your thoughts about how you guys are dealing with it. If you're an operator, you're already using any other software which you believe has helped you, please comment down below. We've built a massive, great community. People watching my videos, I always get message on Instagram or Facebook. Look, if you're not connected to me, please do so, because I always update new things that's out there in the market, really helping operators like yourself to achieve the best profit, the best property, the best system. My job here is to grow your business, grow your brand, to achieve you the best, the best result in the industry. So guys, I hope you enjoyed another Grow Your BNB video. Please make sure you give us a like, subscribe and share, and we'll be back with another video soon.